Well, Rich, we're back again for another episode of the Watch Along. Many of your fans have said that they love you talking about the den, but they wanted to see what would happen if we went back in time. So we are going back in time today to RF Episode 1. Let's see if it has changed very much.
Well, let's see if I've changed. It's like a time machine, isn't it, going back in your life?
So before we start, how are you feeling about this? Because you haven't seen this for...
No, I don't watch myself on TV all day. I literally haven't seen it for 20 years.
Really?
I might have seen bits here and there, but I haven't watched it.
So I think the key takeouts for us, every single show that we've watched so far, we have referenced the fact that it's very different to what it used to be, that they're nicer, that they're not as thorough.
And we were nominated for a BAFTA every year I was on it, just saying. I think in the 20 years after that, there may be one or two, but I've got a 100% BAFTA nomination rate.
Perfect.
Shall we kick it off?
My name's Nick Nevercott. I'm here today with my business design concept and my product, the Stealth Tabletop.
Okay.
I'm looking for £150,000 of investment for a 25% share in my business. As you can see, it's a designer-looking coffee table, but it's so much more than a designer-looking coffee table. It's a fully fledged multimedia machine.
With loads of wires.
Capable of delivering multiple functionality, including digital TV, whether it's live.
Back then it was like, whoa.
This is great. Oh.
Nervous.
Audio, video, photo archive.
Oh dear.
The main areas of business that I see this being aimed at are corporate businesses and the home environment. Corporate business, I see this being placed into corporate reception areas, through to the home environment, where you could actually, for the home environment, where for the disconcerting home professional.
Okay, I want to know, genuinely, what is going through your mind? Because I don't know what's been edited here and what's actually happening.
Well, luckily the BBC are nice, because you're always at the risk. I could be pulling a face about, something else, and they could splice that and put it any time they like. So you are at their mercy, as you know. But I would have felt sorry for him. I so often felt sorry for the contestants, and the more. Because I knew it was a huge day for them, and I knew we had the power, and that it's the biggest day in their business life, and it's pretty intimidating. The little black spot they've got to come walk on and stand on their spot, and there's all these cameras pointing at them. I mean, at least half the population would be terrified. And it was nasty then. This was series 3.
You can see. I mean, the way that they're trying to pitch it is that you guys are literally going to rip him to pieces.
When I remember having watched the earlier seasons, that they were quite nasty and going, oh, Jesus, it was like Simon Cowell in the old days. It's like, what are you doing here? I mean, so you can understand them being nervous.
Yeah, let's see if he gets rinsed.
Okay,
very handsome.
Thank you. With your
yes, exactly.
Even back then.
Yes,
I'm looking at not only taking this thing taking the unit into production, but actually marketing the unit, and I'm looking to provide you with a 2,000% return on your equity.
I just say, Duncan used to wind up, I don't know if he was serious, he goes, Richard's the best looking dragon, and I'm the second best. He used to say that to Peter all the time. And Peter just wound up Peter.
Oh, that was brilliant.
But they did not like each other, Duncan and Peter.
Really?
At that point, they did not like each other.
It's a terrible start for Nick. He's going to have to work hard to gain the Dragon's confidence and stand any chance of persuading them to invest £150,000 in his multimedia coffee table.
Nick, hi.
Hi.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. I am very serious.
You said you wanted an investment of 150,000,
Yes.
and over a period, the investor would get 2,000% return.
Yes.
Okay, how much is that?
That's
3 times.
£3 million.
How are you going to get there?
How am I going to get there?
Yeah.
We're looking at a 50% return for every unit sold.
This is exactly what they don't do anymore.
No, it's
So
analysis.
they're right into the maths. They're right into the analysis.
And right on the attack.
But you're right, I mean, they're like straight in on the start.
Yeah.
I mean, now...
Can you see the difference between this and the
Yeah,
modern
it's
show? It was
absolutely
like,
night and day.
you know, like it's terrifying. I'm terrifying.
Night and day. No, I am.
But I
literally.
remember,
I'm not going on
it
this.
used to intimidate me. Like, this was my first show. I'd be like, God, they're just waiting to... If I say something silly, they're waiting to pounce on me.
Jesus, I wouldn't take a business on this one. I'll go on the other one. I'll go on the other one tomorrow, but not this one. Jesus
But
Christ.
Duncan kind of took me under his wing a little bit because he didn't like Peter. So, and then Peter saw that, and so he was like, "Hang on, who's this bloke?" It was. And Deborah, because Deborah was the only woman, tended to break that. Everyone was nice to Deborah, but there was otherwise it was these factions. So
there's like a cartoon strip there somewhere. Actually,
I think I can safely say now, 20 years later, that there was one point on the set where Duncan and Peter came close to.
Really?
Fisticuffs. Yes,
Really?
I think I can safely say that now. I've never said it before, but 20 years later, and it was my fault because which I fessed up to, which helped stop the. I said it was some episode, and Peter said, "Oh, you know, well, it's good that you've got competition or something." And I said, I just whispered to Duncan, which you don't really do, right? But I whispered to him, first time I've heard it's good to have competition. Like, and I was half joking, right? Half joking. And then Duncan sort of burst out laughing, involuntarily burst out laughing while Peter was speaking, which didn't go down well with Peter. And so after the filming of that piece had finished, Peter was not happy and walked up to Duncan and then Duncan stood up, and no one's going to get involved. Like this, all the crew are not going to get involved. Like, you know, right? No one told us what to do. Like all these millionaires, right? So they're all standing back, right? And they start sort of shouting at each other. I'm like, well, actually, Peter, it was me that, you know, I said that, and you know, he was laughing at something I said, you know, like, but they, you know, and they were about to go outside, my money was all on Duncan.
I was going to say, so
Peter was bigger.
This is the question.
Peter's bigger, like stronger looking tennis player, but
Duncan's from Glasgow.
He's a scrapper.
He's from Glasgow.
You know,
he's from Glasgow.
He
would eat.
Yes,
He
he's
would
been in the
eat
Navy.
his
He's been like, I think he got suspended for hanging a guy off the side of the boat. Like, you know, like, it wouldn't matter. That would just be over in 1 minute. And I've saved Peter's life, I reckon.
Excellent.
Anyway,
That's
so there's a bit of background.
Will Richard Farleigh see things differently?
Will he indeed?
Here we go.
There's not a lot of positive things to say about this. You know, the debate in the industry at the moment is about what to put on the television set versus what to put on the computer. There's never been a debate about putting them flat like that. I wonder how long it would take me to get a saw back huddled over that screen. It wouldn't take long.
It's a flat
and one of the
screen.
strengths you mentioned of it is that you can send your output to another plasma screen or another computer somewhere, and you can send it wirelessly. Why send it from that? Why not just start with a normal computer?
Because the idea behind it is because
very good question.
Most living quarters have a coffee table of some description.
Yeah, most of them have a bath as well. Why not put in they're separate to sit and look at the screen like
I've always been funny.
There you go, no question.
I'm out.
I like this guy.
I just think the whole thing is so bizarre. I think the product's bizarre. I think your projections are completely bizarre. And that must mean that you're completely bizarre. I just would not invest in this and in you if it was the last possible investment I could ever make. So I'm out.
Golly.
Wow.
Now Nick is in real trouble.
This show'd
He's
do
lost
well
the
now,
interest
wouldn't
of 3
Yeah,
dragons
bloody
in
hell,
quick
this would be
succession.
great. We should bring this
Only
back.
Peter Jones and Theopophetus remain, and his bid for a
You're bizarre, your product's
£150,000
bizarre,
investment
everything's
is
bizarre.
on the verge of collapse.
Please,
poor guy.
But he's still there, he's still taking it.
Develop this further.
I'm actually in the process of selling my house to actually...
Oh, God, no!
You are going to sell your house.
For the love of God!
Yes. I firmly believe in this product.
I wonder where he's living, which street he's living on now.
Yeah.
Do you have any responsibilities? Do you have children?
Yes, I've got 2 dependents.
Oh, God,
Do not
don't.
sell your house for this. Don't make any rash decisions until you've got something that you can show to somebody, and everybody that you show it to turns around and says, Nick, I love it.
Sell
That has been the reaction today.
Yes,
I don't
exactly.
believe you. You're either showing it to friends, family, or idiots. Can I just declare that actually I'm out?
Nick, do not waste your life. This is not a eureka moment. I too am out.
Do you know what's something funny? With the only part, a lot of people would say, "Is it real? Is it real?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's all real," you know, and it is all real. There was only one part we rehearsed, and I remember having to say like 20 times, "I'm out. I'm out.
Oh, really?
I'm out." You know, you had to. I'm out every time because they had to have. You had to say those words because it was the official sealing off for each track. But they may say, "I'm out." I'm like, "I'm out. I'm out. I'm out." Or in Duncan's case, "I'm out. I'm out. I'm out."
My name's James Barnum. I have a first-class honours degree in industrial design from London South Bank University.
Oh,
I've invented a product that stops baths overflowing automatically. Now, today I'm going to ask you for £150,000 for 10% equity of my company.
Okay.
In the UK, the insurance industry pays out a whopping £250 million per year, clearing up the damage caused from people leaving taps running. This is my overflow product. It's a small mechanical unit that fits underneath the taps in a bath. Because it's mechanical, it's intrinsically safe because there's no electrical supply of batteries. It's easily fitted to both UK and European tap dimensions, and it would take about 20 minutes to fit.
Does the company have any debt, or does it have any stock? Or?
No, no debt, and no stock as we speak.
And it owns the patent?
So it's
London South Bank University owns the patent, and I've got full rights to the patent.
So hang on a minute, here you go.
Anything out of it apart from their 10% shareholding?
They got 10% shareholding, and any sales over £100,000, they will receive 4% of the retail price of those products.
Ah.
Ooh, now
The
it
Dragons
comes
have
out. I told you
discovered
there was
that
a sting.
James's contract with the university will eat into his future profits and those of any investor in his company.
That makes it even harder to come to your valuation of £1.5 million. You've got the 4% away, long term, forever. Is there any possibility we can buy the patent from the university?
What does it matter?
That may be a
just like cost of
possibility,
production.
but I would need to call on my
It's
colleague
percentage
and
as well.
sell it.
Let's do that now, let's have a chat.
You only pay if you sell. It's not like a flat fee.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
James's
kind of
chance
irrelevant.
of investment could depend on his university mentor settling Duncan Bannatyne's concerns.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't
Wow.
really...
Would the university consider selling the patent?
Yes, the university would consider selling the patent. It would have a price, obviously.
What would that price be, do you know?
Two negotiations.
I haven't done a valuation for sale because I hadn't considered selling
Give
the
us
patent. But
Ballpark figures. It could make a difference to the investment.
at this stage, we would probably think of £2 to £3 million in terms of the...
Oh, right, okay, well, pay the 4%. James, I'm interested in investing in your company, but I really think that for £150,000, I should be looking at getting 50% of your company, not 10%. That's where I am.
I think that's correct.
I think you've given a great presentation.
True.
I think it's really good. I think you're a very smart guy.
I agree with him.
I'd just like to liven
What
this
he
up a
said.
bit by improving on my friend's offer and saying I'll put in 150,000 for 45%, just to get things moving a little bit.
Ooh, shrewd.
Undercut.
Undercut.
To try and secure the investment
You're
for
gonna get
himself,
the shit
Richard
kicked out of you
Farleigh
in about
undercut
20 minutes off
Duncan
camera.
Bannatyne's original offer.
Come here, you
Peter
fucking
Jones was
Aussie shit.
impressed by James from the start.
Few
Will
side
he
looks.
be drawn into the bidding?
Exactly.
From a business perspective, are people going to look at that and say, oh God, yeah, if I had that product, my bath wouldn't overflow? Personally, I think they'll look at it and think, don't worry about it. I've got insurance.
I don't think
I've
anyone's
got
going to look
cover,
at
and
it because it's never
happens.
going to be seen. It's going to be
Okay,
bought
then I
by
might
trade
consider
in
it.
bulk and
So
then
I
just
think for
fitted in
that
your
reason,
bath.
it becomes more of a considered purchase. Because of the slight limited market opportunity and the slow burn rate on penetration, unfortunately, for me, it would take many years for me to get a good return on my investment, in my opinion. And that, James, is why I'm saying that, unfortunately, I'm out.
Yeah, he's absolutely right on the audience that he's going for. He's going for the housing associations. He's probably going to go for the Victoria Plum or all these people that make, you know, what they call Bosch and all these people that make baths. That's who you go to with this.
Yeah.
No punter is going to sit there and say, "Oh, I really need this on the bath." They'll never see it.
You know, I can't remember how complicated the workings are of it. You know, the actual, how ingenious it is. So, like, because it does sound. If no one has been able to do it non-electronically, that does sound like some sort of breakthrough, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And if the
exactly.
product is selling electronically, then the product does sell.
And if
So he does have a big, but it's just that valuation, because even though it sounds, all these inventions sound great, but there's so many of them fail. Just so many amazing things. So I reckon the offer on the table is about right.
Yeah, I think that fellow that gave 45%, I think is probably about right.
But you know what's ironic? Because after this, I became Chancellor of London South Bank University.
Really?
I was literally the Chancellor.
And here we go. And I obtained 100% of the patents of this.
That's why I became Chancellor.
Now it comes out.
But for 7 years I was Chancellor, a long time. I gave out lots of university degrees with my fantastic robes and shake hands and give out all sorts of. So I probably met the professor.
You'd have met him, yeah.
But you know, they had a fantastic engineering department. But I would have been so going back in time because he was from my university. Yeah. I would have been so inclined just to give him a.
I think he's right, though. I think the valuation is off, but that's a negotiation. I think the target audience that he's on about is right. It's a trade product. It's not a consumer product. There's not a consumer in the land that's going to go, yes, I'm going to buy this weird thing and plug it behind the thing. You know, a bath manufacturer will buy it, and then that bath manufacturer will install it, and they'll charge you a massive markup for buying a premium bath that comes with this, special thing.
And you probably don't need much more than 150,000 to find out.
You definitely would.
If you're wrong, you're going to find. It's not like you have to, build buildings and open restaurants. You're going to find out, pretty quickly if it works or not for your 150,000.
And also, based on the conversations that he's having, let's say, what did he say? There's something like 50 housing associations, 1.6 million homes. He only needs to talk to 2 housing associations to get a deal from 2 of them.
In fact, I'm surprised why he hasn't done that before.
My name is Jacqueline Edwards, and my company is Totally Different Limited. And I'm here today to ask you for a total investment of £85,000 for a 10% stake in my company. I have no competitors, and in today's world where hygiene and peace of mind are so essential,
most business books will tell you that no competitors is not always a good thing.
Firstly, my paper disposable toilet seat cover.
Wow.
I remember that.
They are individually wrapped and sold in packs of 6 and are made for when using toilets anywhere outside the home. For many, many years I've thought that using ladies' loos was one of the most unpleasant experiences I've ever
I found it terrible.
Yeah,
98% of them are not clean. Then I moved to Scotland, and that's where it all changed, because when I moved to Scotland and the seats were so cold, I thought I used to wrap a hand
for Duncan
towel
on this.
around the loo seat.
Yeah, but go about cold seats.
Jacqueline, can I ask you a question on this? Why are toilet seats colder in Scotland? You said they
I
were
knew you
colder
wouldn't like that.
It was when I went to Scotland, I must have chosen the coldest house there possibly was there, with drafty windows.
Discussing how
And
cold
it was
toilets
just
are.
so cold.
We'll have central heating now and electricity and things like that in Scotland now,
I remember
You'd be
that.
surprised. When I was...
Wait a minute.
He was annoyed.
I lived there. I was born there.
Well,
It's a fair point.
You must have a particularly warm
But it's not a
bath
temperature thing, it's a hygiene thing.
because ours was... We can't afford to have our heating on all night as well.
I'm going to at least stop here. I think there's a market for the disposables.
Yeah.
What I've got to make my mind up is whether you can market that.
Well, she has, in a way. But she's asked for too much money. It's too much money.
It is too much
10
money.
grand, 20 grand, go and see if you can sell more.
It is. It's far too much. I dumped the bum warmers and just...
you don't need full time,
need
you've got the
30
product.
grand, 20 grand.
I understand the problem. The last one with the fleece, we've all got up in the middle of the night, especially on a cold winter's night. Maybe get a little
You live
bit
in a
of
mansion,
shock
apparently.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, exactly. We've seen it at the
I'm
intro.
more interested in the first one, the disposable one.
Yeah.
But you've got elastic in it.
Yes.
How does it become disposable?
On my packaging, it does say, please bin rather than flush. However, they don't block toilets, they float.
So if I was to flush
Oh, God!
disposable toilet seat down the toilet,
Yeah.
it would not dispose but sit.
At the moment,
stay
it
there.
would float.
Oh,
And
my...
That's why we say on the bag, please bin them.
What happens if you make a mistake? Do you think I've got to go fishing into the toilet?
When you say make a mistake,
Wow,
Peter,
come on.
I mean,
that
this
could
is...
happen to anything, couldn't it? You know, can I just say, a friend of mine,
Oh, my
a
God.
friend of mine dropped her. This is when you had the written contact books, you know,
Oh, yeah,
A to Z, and she dropped it. she dropped it in the loo and she fished it out, you know. And for about 3 months, she couldn't call anyone whose name started A-H. She bumped into, you know. So things do drop in the loo.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't
it.
think if it's elastic, it's not going to suddenly drop in, is it? You know, you can say that about anything, couldn't you?
But I mean, also, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that you would actually like want to flush into, and unless, of course, when he's talking about making a mistake, unless he means that you make a mistake.
I mean, I've heard of women. You know, I've got a lot of sisters. I've heard women talking about putting, you know, toilet paper on a sink.
Yeah, that's it.
And often, if it's communal, you know, guys are peeing all over the place. Yeah. You know, but so they put toilet paper on it, and this would fill that. You know, if they're travelling and, you know, pub loos and the airport loos. But so I can imagine if you just put it on, you sat down, then you rolled it up, and if there's a bin somewhere, even if it had a little bag with it, you can put it in the bag and get rid of it. That's where I see a market. I don't know if
I don't know why you would be even thinking about, I'm now going to take this big bit of paper and flush it down the loo. Just put it in the bin.
Say that about anything.
You put it in the bin.
But, you know, do you really, when you're travelling around, I've got my airport loo bag. Maybe, you know, but there are people who are that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not for me.
You know, if you're going to football or cricket for the day, you might think, I'll take one. Not, you know, more the ladies.
Yeah, no, that's it. I can definitely see there's a ladies' market there for when they're going to public loos, and they definitely don't want to, you know.
It's the sort of thing you'd have a punt, buy some stock, see how the sales go. You know, but again, that's 10 or 20 grand. You've already got some sales. Just let it grow.
But I mean, how much is it going to cost? I mean, this is pre-China, presumably, in terms of manufacturing. I mean, now you would literally buy 500,000 for £3 or something like that, and then buy them all off Amazon or Temu or wherever else you're getting it.
But I've heard of the need, and also the fact that she's got sales. That means a lot to me.
I think Theo, this is right up his street. If you think about some of the places that he's got, this is right up his street.
Imagine this in Ryman's, could you?
Next to the
printer cartridge.
Next to the printer cartridge, yeah.
You want the money for working capital. Maybe instead of getting equity in getting people buying shares in your business, maybe what you should do is borrow the money from the bank. If you get a large order,
they have already said.
Let me finish. On the back of that order, borrow the money from the bank, prove to another investor by getting a big order and saying this is selling.
I have got bank backing. But what
that's not the question. That's not the question.
I can't get through.
You dare interrupt
the
dragon.
Jesus.
But
Jacqueline, this is now there's a weakness coming into your whole argument because you're saying you can't get into these big stores. Is that right?
I can't get names. I keep writing
Jacqueline, you want this money to order more stock.
Yeah.
So
I can provide for those orders when I know
you're saying the
they'll come.
difficulty is that you can't get the orders. So how
No,
is
I'm
having more stock?
saying I can't get through to the right people in shops.
Jacqueline,
listen to the guy.
Spending 60 on stock does not solve that problem.
No.
So I'm sorry, I'm out.
I almost got annoyed there.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's right.
It's about as angry as I get.
That's not true.
This has forced him. Duncan Bannatyne has also made.
Oh my God, he's going to literally rip it to pieces. Run, Jacqueline!
I think you're going to continue to go down this road working from your house and try to sell these. I think you're never going to get anywhere with it. You're still going to be dreaming and living in cloud cuckoo land for a long, long time, Jacqueline. So I'm absolutely out.
Okay.
The Dragons are losing confidence.
That's not just out. That's absolutely
No, that's
out.
absolutely out with two hands. Two hands. Deborah Meaden, will she go girl power or will she say?
I'm double out. No, I'm triple out.
You lost me very early on. Really? And I've just been waiting for the moment to be able to explain why. And you lost me at the moment at which you had to spend any time at all with your head hovering over that toilet pan, putting those disposable seat covers on. Because I have to tell you, the least time I spend staring down that toilet pan, the better. So I have to say,
fair point.
I don't like the product.
You can always close your eyes.
I'm amazed that you're female and saying that. Absolutely amazed with what we have to go through.
Go on.
When we go
She's
out.
sweet.
Well, I don't know what traumatic experiences you've had in the toilet, but I just like to make it as quick as possible and out. But I don't want to spend my time staring.
Get that
on
on social right now.
Well,
I'm
that's it. I'm
Deborah's pointing the finger back.
Look, there's a head shake, there's a finger point.
For that reason, I'm out.
Nice summary.
Yeah, very nice summary actually.
Theo Paphitis, who showed early interest in Jacqueline's product, is now the only dragon left who could potentially
think
invest
anyone's gonna
the
win.
Sometimes you think, this isn't a bad idea, and you're like, man, I might make an offer on this one. And then someone goes, but what about that? And you go, oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, that's
You've
it.
Actually,
That's it. I think that's what's going to happen here, because he was definitely
happened
into
to me
it.
a number of times. I think, oh, yeah, they do occasionally make points where, you go, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm glad I didn't go in before.
Yeah.
I'm glad I waited till they spoke.
Yeah.
The £85,000 she's looking for.
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
You've done brilliantly to get to this stage.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, I don't believe in your dream. So...
Anymore.
I'm sorry, I'm out.
It's not a real reason, is it? I don't believe
Not really, I don't believe in your dream.
Bye, Jacqueline.
It's one out of reasons when everyone
all
else had a
over
good
for
Yeah,
reason.
exactly.
Despite her best efforts,
I would have
she couldn't
invested
convince
about
the
5
dragons
minutes
to
ago, but
invest.
because of what they said.
Yes, he was keen at the beginning.
He was very keen, he was very keen. Well, that money's still there. That's zero. Zero so far.
Other entrepreneurs who failed in the den included Jamie Allen and Simon Lee, who wanted to take their magical musical about the illusionist Houdini to the West End.
What?
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Where is that on Dragon's Den now?
Ability, but I think that this will give you the general idea.
Magic on the den. Look at Peter Jones.
£231,750, which is about £3 million cheaper than any other musical that's been put on at the moment.
Their pitch didn't do the trick. With no West End track record, they were unable to conjure up an investment.
Because neither of you have done a show before like this.
That's right.
You've never produced or directed a show, but you're going to make the West End your proving ground.
Yes.
That's a mistake.
Graphic designer Mike Daniels hoped his eye-catching themed table plans would win the dragons over.
My service is to take the boring, mundane necessity out of a client having to sit down and create their own table plan.
But Theo Profitis quickly picked a fault with Mike's football design.
How many players in a team?
There's 11 players.
How many you got there?
Please.
There's 10 there.
And Peter Jones was even more shocked by Mike's numbers.
What do you charge for this?
It's £400 to £500.
But it's just a table plan. I'm not even going to waste time with you. I'm out.
And Tina Johnson was looking for £150,000 to launch Disc Drive, an instructional CD for learner drivers.
Disc Drive delivers professional driver training between driving lessons without the aid of an instructor. Let's begin with when to change gear and how to change gear.
But her product simply baffled the dragons.
You're a driving instructor, is that right? I think it's driven you mad. I think this is absolutely bonkers. I've never had anything like it.
It's inconceivable. I cannot possibly imagine this working, so I'm out.
Thank you for your time.
But in those days, they had all this fodder in those days. But the irony is, Reggae Sauce was supposed to be one of those. Because they knew, BBC knew when they put those on that they're not going to get an investment. And when they put on Levi, they thought he's not going to get an investment. It was a bit of fun. And so he was supposed to be one of those. And then
so literally comes on with the guitar
they're
and
like,
expected him to go, he hasn't got his numbers.
It's not going to work. But they thought it'd be a little bit of a little one of those.
So everyone has the possibility. They just have more of the crazy people.
Well, Levi was supposed to be one of those, and they let it run. He got good investment.
I mean, do you think these days they don't have the crazy people, or I mean, because it is obviously a lot.
They just seem to have 3 or 4, then they all get investments.
And that's what I mean. Well, the charity show.
They must not show. I mean, occasionally they have ones that don't get investment.
Yeah,
but here you can see it's like 90% don't get an investment.
Well, they now just stick with almost 3 to 4 big main sort of pitches. There's none of those little kind of vignettes.
But I think in a way it's kind of, you learn more from a lot of the ones why they're no good.
You do. Yeah. And also with those guys, I mean, it shows you that. I know there's a load of people with a load of ideas, right? And so some of these ideas, everyone's got ideas. And most ideas are terrible, but some are good. And I think the idea of the show that I used to love about it was the fact that it just demonstrated that, people were just all over the place trying to create stuff, trying to do interesting things. And I think that's good. You want crazy people coming up with interesting things. Now it's just like, I've got an app, I've got an idea for an app, and I want £1 million and it's worth 50 million, and that's, and the dragons will all go, yes, perfect.
But I think it's also good, the quantity of failures on this, because it is true, and most ideas are no good. And so instead of, if you watch Dragons In now, you think, any idea is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you watch this, you go, no,
or
maybe, no.
And it's true. I think, didn't you write somewhere that ideas are
worth nothing? Yeah, and they're still worth nothing 20 years later.
Exactly.
My name is James Seddon. I'm here to ask you to invest £75,000 in my company, Exactly Limited. A boiled egg makes an almost perfect breakfast. It's one of the most nutritious foods that money can buy. The only downside is it's a bit of a hassle to prepare. First, you have to wait 5 minutes for the water to boil, place the egg in the boiling water, remembering to set the timer, fish it out when it's cooked, and finally you have to wash up the pan. It's even more of a hassle if you want to cook hard and soft-boiled eggs at the same time. We've devised a product that makes cooking eggs as easy as making toast. It's a sort of toaster for eggs. In the first year, our turnover is intended to be £1 million, going up to nearly 7 million by year 4. So to summarise, this is a brand new product. The market for it is truly global, and the technology is covered by patent. With your help, not only will you get a tenfold return for your money, but you'll also help millions of people get exactly the right start to their day. Thank you for listening to me. I'll do my best to answer your questions.
Great pitch. Great pitch.
I remember liking this straight away.
James wants an investment of £75,000
because I always messed up eggs.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm not particularly good at cooking eggs, so this is perfect.
And the number of hotels that can't cook a
exactly.
So how do you know that it works?
Well, I hope, demonstrate it working. This one here actually is one that can work.
Can you give me a 4-minute egg?
Well, 5-minute egg. I mean, people talk about a 3 and 5 minute egg. I've never really understood it because every
Don't
time
say
I
5
boil
minutes. If
an
you
egg,
ask
it's always
4 minutes,
5 minutes to get it the way I like
he'll
it.
be grumpy.
Which is white, just white.
But I want a 4-minute egg, which is the way
oh
I
my
like it.
God!
I understand. Yeah, the cooker will do it.
So just do me a 4-minute egg.
Peter Jones wants a 4-minute egg. James is hoping to impress him with his 5-minute egg. Deborah Meaden already has serious reservations as to whether James's invention is improving on traditional
None of us noticed what happened here.
What happens at the end in that, talking about the element? Peter wants a 4-minute boiled egg, walks out of the room, 6 minutes later. How long is heat still being applied?
As soon as it's finished like this, it
Have a look.
beeps and you can see the bezel goes blue. And that's it, it's done.
Okay.
Where's the egg?
You forgot to put the egg
There's no egg in there.
I remember thinking this would be a cool magician thing. Put an egg in. Look.
That's fantastic.
None of us noticed he didn't.
They didn't even have an egg in it.
And he's done such a slick presentation. He also sort of comes across as a guy who's quite.
Yeah. Well, he looks like an egg. You know.
and you know, he got to, you know, it's pretty basic.
It's basic. It's an egg cooker. Well, what does it cook?
Yeah.
Eggs. Where's the egg? Not there.
Yeah. Have you got a registered patent for not just the design, but the technique?
The crucial bit is that, which is the element.
Why is this different? Explain that to me.
Because it's the only one that directly heats the egg, that directly cooks the egg. And they tried in the past to make sort of ovens where the egg would sit in a very close oven to work, but of course it didn't work because there was air in between.
James, what actually heats up this thing here, is it?
No, that's just the fingers to hold the element against the egg.
So this heats up?
That heats up, yes.
Spongy...
That's right.
And what have you actually invented? The shape?
The way the whole thing works, the fingers to hold it against the egg.
And what is patentable?
The fingers, the element, and the way the element actually heats is all patentable. I think people are going to have real difficulty trying to do the same thing.
I think it could be quite a good little product.
There you go. He's in.
James is thorough patent
Let the big dog eat.
Too keen.
Yeah,
All James
exactly.
needs now is an effective demonstration of the egg cooker.
Oh, here we go.
We're done.
I think it's probably done.
That took exactly 5.5 minutes.
I hope it's cooked. I'm afraid this one hasn't cooked properly, I'm sorry to say. But let me just, I can show you the original prototype.
You've got to recover quickly from this, James.
Never work with children, animals, or
You
eggs.
get one chance.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this.
There was something important here, or at least I thought was important.
Yeah.
It was where he was looking. If he's trying to lie, he'd be looking at us for our reaction, you know, like to see if he got away with it. But he was looking at that egg cooker like, you bloody egg cooker, you worked at home, and now when I need you to work. He was looking at it like he wanted to stomp on it. and that made me think, yes, he's angry at the machine. And,
So
you know, and
you think he has made
he's
it
like,
work
this
before?
thing worked at home.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he wasn't looking at us for a reaction, that he was looking at that
Yeah,
that was
that's a bit of
just that little
psychology.
detail.
James's chance of an
I
investment
miss
is
all
hanging
these
by
kind
a
of
thread.
inventors, I
He
really
desperately
do.
needs to prove the technology works if he's to salvage
It almost
any
adds to
interest
his
from the
Yeah, no, it does.
clever investor.
It does. It's
Clever
like, look
inventor.
at him, look at
Clever
him,
inventor.
the crazy inventor. Look, oh, come on, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
This one hasn't cooked either. I'm
Oh,
terribly sorry. I
God.
know it hasn't.
Stop.
Because I've done this so
Stop.
many times. but
Stop doing it.
For some reason or other, this one hasn't cooked either. Look, I'm terribly sorry, but it does work, I promise you. Why didn't this one work? I haven't got a clue.
Oh. That's not a good answer.
No.
It's not a good answer.
What the hell?
I haven't aged at all.
What the hell happened there?
I promise you it works. And
That
the
was too
technology
weird.
It's so relatively
That
straightforward.
was too weird.
It does work.
Wow.
That easy. Animals, children, and electrical products.
Absolutely.
That's what,
The fact
yeah.
that you can't show me it works, and you keep telling me how relatively straightforward the technology is. I'm not going to be investing, so I'm out.
How often doesn't the prototype work?
It's worked every time. Believe me, this one worked absolutely every time.
Yes.
I have eggs.
I do believe him. I do believe him. He seems like a nice, honest
Have you got
guy.
any suspicion of why it didn't work? Is there a loose connection? Did it heat up? Did it?
I probably hadn't put the thermostat to the right. I probably hadn't put the thermostat to the right rear level. That is probably.
He
all
does
it is.
sound
There's
like a
thermostat
central
here, and I
casting
can see
professor.
it
You can
from
imagine him
everything
being like
stands up, and I'm
C3PO
sorry,
or
that's
something
just
like
simply
that. You
the
know.
environment I'm in. So I'm sorry, if I had another egg, I'd have another go at it, but I haven't, so I can't.
Yeah, lovely bloke.
Well, you should have kept the one that hadn't
It
cooked.
looks to be all
Or
over for
you should have
James.
brought in one that was already cooked and just basically, you know, yeah.
Only Peter Jones and Richard Farleigh have yet to declare their positions.
The attractive side of this is obviously that I could see this selling zillions.
Yes.
That's the upside. The chances of it happening, I think, are still very low because whether the technology works, it's a higher risk venture. You know, so really what I would be investing in is an invention.
Yes.
You know, without getting opinions on the patents, without seeing it working. I want a much different percentage than what you're talking about, so I'd probably want 40% for company for selling.
Now, look, can I just say, I saw Stephen Bartlett doing that the other day. When he came up, he made this offer for 12.5%. Right.
Oh, yeah,
It's not a bad negotiate because it makes it sound like I've done all the numbers.
You
I've
thought
done all
about
this.
it.
You know, there's a whole science. Don't bother going with some other number
Yeah.
because I've got.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to need 4.
Yeah, for this to work for me. For this to work for me.
Yeah, and that's a scrape. You know.
Hi James, we can get this over with quickly. I think that this product will sell millions.
Oh
I said
my
zillions,
God.
he
I
went
think you're
millions.
right.
Is it a business that I would like to invest in is the issue. Because I think you've got a lot to do. I'm going to offer you £75,000, the whole £75,000, for 35%.
Ooh.
Can I just ask you what you do for me for that? Because
I do absolutely nothing for you.
no sort of mentoring or help.
I don't think that you can gain a lot of help from me mentoring you, but what I will do is have a clear interest in it.
Fine. I mean, I'd obviously like to ask Richard what you can do to help.
I could probably help you quite a bit. Not with time. I can't spend a lot of time on it, but I can give you the right advice. I'm a very prolific backer of technology companies, a lot of which have gone to the AIM market or sold. So, you know, I think I'm probably the ideal investor for you.
Yours is going to be very much a hands-off approach.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy for me to sit here and use the terminology, I'm a prolific telecoms guru, but I'm not going to paint that picture. I think the reality is that you're going to get investment, you're going to get support and help.
It's going up.
And
there's nothing
going to be a
before.
lot of doors
Exactly.
to open by us partnering.
Yeah. Partner.
Strategically, I've set up a lot of businesses, as you probably well know, and I've had my failures, but I've had some prolific successes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So from that
God.
perspective, I think that I know exactly how to take products to market.
Gone a long way from doing
James
nothing.
now
Yeah, I was going to say, it
costs.
sounds like something to
Peter
me.
Jones wants 35% of his company. Richard Farleigh is demanding 40%. But James seems impressed by the new Dragon's technology expertise.
Yeah, prolific.
Peter Jones wants this invention and comes up with a third option.
Richard, I've got an opportunity here. I'm quite happy to split the opportunity with you, 20% each. With your expertise on exit for the company, my expertise on commodity sales, he's got the benefit of both of our brains. Maybe we've got a very good business here.
That'd be a dream deal for you, really, wouldn't it?
So you get 2 for the price of 1, but you get 20% me, 20% Richard, and you get your money today.
And you can't match Peter's 35% between you.
Well, actually, if you get the two of us, I think you should be very happy with 40%.
It's decision time for James. But the Dragons are demanding a huge share of his business.
Take it. You've had 3 egg failures.
It's what I thought I would say. I'd like to accept your deal.
Yes!
Pair of you to do it.
Well done. Excellent.
So basically, what? I mean, presumably he made you millions.
That one. So Peter and I split on 2 investments, I think. Anyway, but you'd always take one person to do the work because there's no point really 2 people doing the work because you end up with all these investments. But so when we did Reggae Sauce together, he ran with Reggae Sauce.
Yeah.
I got Egg Cooker, right? And it wasn't. You know, it had its problems. Right? I think it works sometimes, but it had its problems. And so when we had his business plan and the contract and everything, and I had a sort of engineering company in Birmingham, and so I took had 2 guys working on it for a few days up in Birmingham, and they sorted it out.
Yeah.
You know, and so we got the product sort of the prototype working, right? And so that was all done with my guys, and then I'm looking at his business plan, and he wanted to go to China and do all this, and he already had some cash in the company, like quite a bit, like 20, I don't think it's on the footage, but like 20, 30, you know, some tens of thousands, and I redid his business plan, and like my idea was basically what we did with Reggae Sauce later, which was to take it to someone else. Like I didn't really trust James with money.
Exactly.
You know, he was going to make plenty of money. You know, but let's go to Phillips or something.
Yeah, exactly,
let's get someone,
right. Just
you know,
who
because
knows
this
what
thing
they're
can
doing.
really sell. And so I went right through his business plan as well. So that took time, obviously. And then I said, well, you know, I cut out the amount of money we need to spend to de-risk it. You know, and you know what happened? We hadn't signed the contract, and I'm quite happily saying this on film because it's all in writing.
Yeah.
James pulled out of the deal.
What?
Because he said, well, something like, oh, thank you, Richard, for all the help.
But you've done all the engineering.
As you've shown me, I don't need the money. I sent him a polite email saying that's disappointing. But,
That's
you know,
really
like, I don't
terrible.
think it's you know, and then then you fast forward like 2 or 3 years, and the Daily Mail prints, the Dragons don't invest. And there's a quote from James, and I'm quite happy saying this as well because it's all in writing, it's all out there, from James saying, oh, the Dragons don't invest, and then him saying, oh, well, you know, I never heard from him, I never did this. I'm like,
you bloody did loads of work
and it
for
didn't
him.
mention my name, but it just said Dragons invested, never heard. Right? I'm like, what? And then I just got that email out, his last email to me or whatever, and cut and paste it, and I emailed him back politely saying, James, I've just read the Daily Mail, and here's a copy of what you sent me, pulling out and saying thank you for the work you've done. And in the thing in the Daily Mail, so we did nothing, never heard from him. I'm like, thanking for work that I've done. I did quite a bit of work at my expense as well. And I'm like,
did he respond?
He said they took words out of my mouth or something.
I'm
like, so then I took legal action against Daily Mail because I was very easy to contact, very easy to find. Yeah. They never bothered to fact check.
Just went to print it.
And so there was a donation made to charity and an apology on page 27 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But you know, that just shows what goes around. But the sad thing is that never made it to market.
Well, I'm not surprised with that kind of. And what was Peter's view on that then? Because presumably
he wasn't happy, you know. But you know, we're all these deals coming along, you know, like you come off a show like that with a lot of work to do.
So hang on a minute. So let's just sort of recap here. Then. So we've now watched the first episode of the old version of Dragon's Den, and I think we only had one investment in the entire show.
That was normal.
And it never even happened anyway because the guy turned out to be a complete freak.
And it wasn't the fault of the dragons.
That's what I mean, exactly.
And you'd often see the dragons get slagged off, but you know, often it would fall over for different reasons.
Wow. I mean, you know, for me, that, as I say, is a lot more indicative of just business that goes on. You know, the amount of really, truly incredible ideas that are out there that make it to market are few and far between. That is more illustrative of what goes on.
It's like 1 in 10, which is
exactly right. So, what did you think revisiting the Den?
It was kind of fun, you know. Like it reminded me of, you know, that would, you know, we would film in total for like 4 weeks for a series of maybe 8 or something, and at the BBC would always be relieved when we had 8 investments because of that pattern, you know. And I remember once we hadn't got 8 yet, and we were like getting towards the end of this, you know, so that would be stressful, but we'd always relax. But you know, we had a lot of fun together. As much as I say there were divisions, you know, we often went to lunch on Fridays all together.
Yeah, I bet.
And so sometimes, you know, a couple of these and Friday afternoon, then probably, you know, let's just get this one over. Like, you know, come on, hurry up, get
Duncan's starting a fight with the waiter,
Duncan
all that,
whispering at
yeah.
me, you know, can you go out? Can you go out? Like everyone else is out. You're like, but hang on, there maybe,
Yeah.
you know. But
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
we got on very well and had a laugh and quite a few sort of longish, you know, good lunches.
Fantastic. Well, that was great. I enjoyed that. Thank you very much indeed for sharing your time with the OG version of Dragon's Den. Until next time, that was fantastic.
Yeah, good fun, eh?
Nice one. Excellent.
Yeah, they should put it back on.